I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Monday.
Also, February. Ready for that? We've already crushed the first month. You ready, my friend? Now we're in the second month of the year. Dang.
I'm so confused right now because of the weather. Where I'm just like, is it March or April or it's February?
I know.
And it was, 58, 60 degrees yesterday?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It's
going to be 64 on Thursday.
I know. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's just, the weather's fantastic. It's really nice and warm, but a little confusing. And I'm a little worried about the snowpack because as you and I have talked about, we are now in that older man season of our life where we start worrying about the weather and the snowpack.
Moisture.
Yes.
You need the moisture.
You need the moisture. It's good for the farmers.
Yeah, and the rafters and everybody else. It's going to be a rough season for them. But goodness, 57 today, 52 Tuesday, 51 on Wednesday, 64 on Thursday. 63 on Friday. And then the weekend's still going to be mild and mostly sunny in the mid-60s.
Jeez.
There you go. All right. Well, welcome to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Lots to talk about today. Power outage going out.
Yeah, I was in the dark a little bit yesterday. How about you?
No, we were fine.
Yeah,
out there.
you guys are.
You had
guys
to deal
are far
with
out.
it. Whoa.
Yeah, there was the substation that's kind of close to where my mom lives, a couple blocks away, is one of the ones that evidently kicked the party off. There were reports online of a giant electrical arc that went about 50 feet in the air at the substation that's right near like Florida and Abilene. Abilene, I think, is where it is. And that's a couple of blocks away from Mom's house. Yeah, we were dark for a while. It actually came back on at our place maybe half hour to 45 minutes later. It flickered a couple of times. It popped on for a second and then came off, and popped on and then came off, and then eventually stayed on. But over where my mom was and my brother was in town, it was darker there for quite a while, and it seemed there was some sort of a cascade effect. And again, not saying that it was because of this that happened at the substation, but problems elsewhere. Hundreds of thousands of people without power. It was a little dark, and it's remarkable the choices we had to make when the internet's not working. It was one of those things where the people that are home were kind of
had to talk to people face to face.
We're kind of looking around like, huh. And luckily enough, we sat there and we're kind of like, well, this doesn't work, and everyone tries different things with their phones. And we sat there and we looked at each other and we're like, let's play a game. And like, all right. So we sat down and there's a Monopoly card game that is a K-pop Demon Hunters themed game that is really fun. It's really fun. It's really easy. It's not too difficult, and it's somewhat mindless, and you get to tease your friends and you steal cards from them. And so we did that. And then by the time we were about 3/4 through the game, and power popped back on, so we finished up the game and then went back to, all of our electronics and hanging out and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What'd you guys do this weekend? What was on the hunt?
Well, I'm going to cover a little bit of this. I went to the We the People political event out in Elbert County. This one generating some controversy within the conservative movement and Republican circles because Victor Marx had agreed to be there and then 5 days prior withdrew.
Oh.
And so it was Scott Bottoms, Greg Lopez, and some other folks, but spoke to a lot of people, learned a lot about where the Republican Party currently stands within the Republican primary for governor. We'll get to that.
I'm
Plus,
real curious about that.
ICE protests over the weekend. Is it changing anyone's mind at this point? Have you had your mind changed? I want to get into this in the 7 o'clock hour. Denver payouts for the George Floyd riots. Speaking of protests, Denver has paid out $22 million for George Floyd protest injuries, and there could be more coming. We'll get into that later. And Epstein file release. Yeah. Everybody's name's in these ones.
Everybody's in there, and
except Bill and I.
Yeah, the other part that got me was that we're hearing from the administration. Nope, this isn't all of them, but this is all you're getting.
Yep,
this is it. Like it or lump it. Like, wait, what? That is a weird thing again, coming from both sides, because both Democrats and both Republicans have said at one point or another, release all the files. And it's weird when either party is in power and they don't. I think that tells us a lot about the totality of individuals involved in this.
Yeah,
honestly.
and it gets really messy very quickly. The victims angry over the latest release because some weren't fully redacted. But you're looking at 2,000 videos, 180,000 images, and 3 million pages. And they all had to do this within like a few months. So they missed some stuff. And the victims not happy about it. So, and the fact that this just keeps going. There's so many,
and there's
what does the
millions
government
more
have
documents.
on us if this is what they have on this guy? Good night. All right, we've got so much to cover. Glad to be back in the studio. We had a wonderful time, by the way, at the South Metro Denver Chamber of Commerce Economic Forecast Breakfast. That was always fun to be.
That was really fun, and I spent some time
Heather
looking at farm box too over the weekend.
Oh, did you?
You
drop the $200K on a farm box?
No, but I did talk to people that in certain situations and scenarios could absolutely use them. Talked to a couple of people that are in farming, and oddly enough, I talked to someone in the reptile world. And what I talked to them about was the idea of adapting this to something like mice feeder production, and that's what we were kind of brainstorming is what would you do?
Yeah.
Because
and we started your own.
Yeah, we kind of started off. No, I'd contract with Farmbox. They know what they're doing. But the idea is we started with the idea of feeders, and the other one that was the mouse thing. Became problematic just simply because of the waste and the smell. But the one we thought of that could be really, really good would be insect production. It could be a self-contained for people that have a lot of geckos and bearded dragons and those type of breeders, that self-contained thing that you can drop in, because a lot of people that become breeders have to change up part of their physical structure, somewhere they live or where they're storing the animals. And so this thing coming in and being able to, basically produce for hundreds of insect eaters would be fascinating. But again, that's the dumb stuff I talk about with my friends. Can we feed these things bugs, and how would we do it? Yeah, I know. I'm exciting.
Never would have come up if it wasn't for the South Metro
never would have.
Chamber of Commerce Economic Forecast Breakfast. Okay, now it's time for the news.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Well, good morning. Monday morning, 35 and a little cloudy. It is Groundhog Day, or Groundhog's Day, or the groundhog. The groundhog saw his shadow, so there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter in the Midwest, evidently. Not here, it doesn't look like. Expecting a high of 54 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story about 200,000 Core Electric and Excel customers lost power on Sunday, as you just heard Jeff and Billy talking about it. They say it also impacted DIA and other systems, but all have fully recovered. Parker and Aurora police say their emergency and non-emergency phone lines and traffic lights went down. Additional charges appear unlikely as of now in the Epstein investigation after the release of millions of files on Friday, along with hundreds of thousands of photos and videos. AG Todd Blanche said the DOJ reviewed the files in July and determined, quote, there was nothing in there that allowed us to prosecute anybody, end of quote. But it's only Monday. And we could see a lot of images, a lot of things. And I'm trying to get this. Let's see how Europe is reacting to this.
Norway's Prime Minister says he agrees there was poor judgment by the country's Crown Princess Mette-Marit after it emerged she had extensive contacts with Jeffrey Epstein. The princess features hundreds of times in the latest files released by the US Department of Justice. The former Norwegian Premier Torbjørn Jagland had planned a family holiday on Epstein's private island, though he then cancelled it. It comes as Miroslav Lajčák, Slovakia's national security advisor, resigned over the weekend after his name was also revealed to be in the latest Epstein files. Ross Cullen, Paris.
And then there's photos, some real, some fake, of Kami Donnie, with his, the mayor of New York, with his mom when he was a kid with Epstein, Slick Willie, Bill Gates, and others. So this could unravel very interestingly this week. We'll see. The federal
you think
government.
so? You think so? I don't think anything's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean,
the way these guys
just
live their lives, the world will shrug and move on.
They're
Which is
all
just crazy. I mean,
satanic.
there's
They're
only
all
two people that have been
worshippers.
prosecuted in all this.
Yeah. The other part
Only
is,
two.
here's the problem with this is who is going to hold them responsible. That's the problem at the core.
That is
Who
true.
is going to, because
You
those
don't think
individuals.
Trump would want to arrest Bill Gates? I think he'd love to do that.
The thing is that once I'm of the opinion that once you start pulling that string, the sweater unravels, because you can't just say it's like when Donald Trump came out and said, we will release all of the Democrats that are names that are in the Epstein files. That invalidates the release in and of itself, because it's already become partisan and political. And so that's going to be the problem, is that if it's a list of people that are indicted, they're all Donald Trump's enemies, it's going to look at like lawfare. And he's not going to want to prosecute his friends, and the Democrats aren't either. When they're in charge, they're not going to want to. And you know how we know that? Because they didn't. They had this last term.
Yeah,
with Biden.
absolutely.
They didn't do
They didn't
anything
do
with
it.
it. But not only did they not release it, they didn't prosecute a single damn person. So that's the problem. It is the people that get to make the prosecutorial decisions, knowing that some of their friends are going to be on the hook. And nothing's going to happen because of this. Yeah. You and I will yell about it. Jeff will yell about it. We'll all see a whole bunch of stuff. And it'll confirm a lot of the stuff that we knew about the people up top being too cozy by half with each other, and also doing stuff they tell us we shouldn't be doing. Yeah, it'll confirm all of our suspicions, but nothing's going to happen. And I hate to say that. I hate to be the bearer of truth and bad news this morning.
You think
but
Bill Gates has an STD?
Absolutely.
here's the thing.
Did he?
I'm
or
going to
does
leave
he?
it. The thing is, for me, is I think I would leave it to the two of you to check. It's up to you. Go forth and encounter, guys. Let's see what happens.
Oh, man, that is the quote of the week. Maybe the quote of the year. Utah prosecutors and a broad group of media outlets pushing back against attempts by alleged assassin Tyler Robinson's defense to shield court filings from public view, arguing there's no justification for the secrecy. I agree with that. And they need to have as many cameras as possible in that courtroom. The attorney's trying to hide. They don't want people over their shoulders, obviously, watching. They just need hundreds, if not thousands, of cameras in that courtroom. Governors from Colorado River Upper Basin states met in D.C. to attempt to solve a years-long stalemate on river water rights. Governor Polis called the meeting productive, while Utah Governor Spencer Cox says all his colleagues are committed to avoiding litigation. A deadline to reach an agreement passed last year. If state leaders can't reach an agreement, the Fed could take over. More paid protesters and their minions, and their minions, held anti-ICE protests in Denver in the metro area over the weekend. They did all types of fun things. And then they went home. An ICE detention center in South Texas is under quarantine because of the measles. DHS said Sunday that 2 detainees with active measles infections were found on Friday. A suspect is in custody after a deadly hit-and-run crash in Aurora. A driver allegedly ran a red light and hit another vehicle at the intersection of East 13th and North Peoria. A man in the other vehicle was killed, and a 1-year-old was seriously injured. 19-year-old Jonathan Garcia ran from the scene but was later arrested by Aurora police officers. He was charged with suspicion of vehicular homicide, leaving the scene of an accident, and reckless driving. Amazon's MGM documentary on First Lady Melania is beating box office projections. Melania brought in just over $7 million in its opening weekend to come in third place. It had been expected to earn between $3 and $5 million. All right, Billie Eilish won the Grammy for Song of the Year.
It's a great song.
You like
Really?
it?
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic song.
Do you have audio over speech?
No, I didn't pull audio for speech.
Talking about stolen land and all that. We all live on stolen land.
She stole some land? No.
Well, she's not giving up her $14 million estate, but
Exactly.
others need to.
Exactly. I can't watch that stuff.
Grammys were good last night.
Were they?
Yeah, but again, it's as
Why
I was
were
telling
they
Jeff,
good?
it's a live performance show, not an awards show. And the live performances were really, really strong last night. Bruno Mars' live performance, Lady Gaga's live performances. Somber was fantastic on stage.
You don't think they're lip syncing? I'm just curious.
No, the thing for me is that because of the presentation, if you're in the room with a whole bunch of other artists and you get on stage and you lip sync, what are they going to think of? You can't sing in front of me. Yeah, that's one of the ones in which I do think they do a lot of live performances. I do think there's some sweetening at times, but yeah, a lot of it is live. It was the one that was weird. Justin Bieber's performance was very strange. That was one that was, of all of them, I'm surprised people aren't talking about that. That was a strange one. Good, but you know, and he's doing the looping thing on stage where he comes out just with the guitar, loops the guitar track, and then loops some drums, and then swings over the top of it. And I've seen both Ben Queller and Ed Sheeran do that on much a higher level. I was nonplussed on what he was doing. It's a decent song off the new album, Swag. It's good. He also stood there and I don't know if it was supposed to be in just shorts or his boxers. I'm not sure what the presentation was, but he's in like socks. And it looks like just socks and his boxers, and that's it. It just was a weird presentation. And for him to come out and loop in that way, I've seen artists that use loops in a much more technically adept manner. And I just was not impressed with the presentation of what he did on the show. I got it. He was being artsy, but that was the one for me that was like, bleh. Yeah, there was
he's
some great.
standing in socks and his boxers.
I know, that's what I said. Yeah.
What has happened to
He's
this guy? He's
Well,
kind of fallen apart.
Not necessarily. I mean, he's had some mental struggles. The other thing is go look at he's incredibly he's incredibly strong Christian. He's an incredibly strong Christian.
Now he is after he was
Incredibly.
groomed.
Again, I'm not gonna. That's not something for the conversation or where we're going with this morning. But it's he's a really strong Christian. It was an interesting performance. I'm not certain why. The other one that I talked about that no one checked on is go check out Jelly Roll's acceptance speech. Go check that out. Before you say the Grammys are a bunch of crap and nobody says anything and I hate all these political speeches, take a minute, go listen to what Jelly Roll says when he wins the award.
Okay,
It's something that is shocking. In fact,
this
is the thing is, this is what I'm gonna tell you. I'm surprised Fox News isn't playing it this morning. Okay, yeah,
it's all over my social media.
Go check out what he said. There was some, and while even Bad Bunny was up on stage, Bad Bunny did speak about his Christian faith. He did talk about ICE and get a little political in certain areas, but yeah, he did that as well, which I found it very refreshing.
By the way, today we're supposed to find out what Turning Point's halftime show is going to be.
Yeah, how come we don't know yet?
Yeah, that's a good point.
What? Okay, there's three of us. We got some time here. Why don't we know yet? Because the big game, you know, and again, there are some legalities as far as what we can and can't say as far as when it kicks in. Is can we say the big SB word? So the big game coming in on this weekend.
We can't say that? You can't say the name of the game?
It depends on where, why, and how. Yeah, there are some things. There are some legalities there. Again, you haven't been in radio as long as Blake and I have. Yeah, they are very tight on that trademark, and so there are some things we have because we are a news talk station. We have a little bit more leeway, but if you're on FM, that's real scary as far as if you can even say the name of the game. But it's coming up. Why don't we have the list of who the performers are yet? Why? I mean, do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing from Turning Point USA? Because they've announced a lot of other people showing up at the NFL game. The opening before the game is supposed to be Green Day. They've got Teddy Swims doing a concert about an hour beforehand for the game. There are a lot of people that have been announced. What are we thinking about Turning Point? Is this a good thing or
we'll have to find out
do you not
today.
have anybody?
Yeah, we'll have to find out today. They're supposed to release it. So. But a lot of people are carrying it. The Daily Wire, One American News, lots of folks are carrying it. So.
Yeah, but again, that's a stream. It's not the same as when In Living Color had another broadcast TV station running counter programming. If Turning Point wanted to make the splash, it's broadcast TV. They need a broadcast station to carry it. You can go and do the streamy thing. That's fun, but hardly counter-programming in my mind because this is a major broadcast. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. I want to see where they've gotten, who they have on that list. I'm so far holding my powder because I feel if they had a big giant name, we would have heard it by now.
We'll have to find out today.
Probably. Yeah, or you could just, go to the bathroom, talk to your family, go to the kitchen, go outside, take a walk, and then come back for the third quarter. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch Turning Point. We're switching over.
I'm not watching that junk.
I'm watching Bad Bunny.
Neither
Absolutely.
one.
110%.
Blake's going to go watch Candace Owens. This is how you have the show here.
Oh, that's
Yes,
fantastic.
that is a
This
good
is the
idea.
Jeff and Bill show right
fantastic.
here.
That's
With
a
Blake
great
Olson doing
idea.
news. Billy's going to go watch Bad Bunny and celebrate
watching that.
woke political crap.
No, I'm going to celebrate music. Not
And
political crap.
then,
I'm going to celebrate music.
and then Blake is going to be watching Candace Owens, and I'll be watching Turning Points, and that's the Jeff and Bill show with Blake Olson's news.
I love
right
it.
there.
I
All
love it.
captured.
Got all angles covered. Love it. Hey, Nikola Jokic returned Friday to the Nuggets, scored 31 after being sidelined 16 games due to that left knee injury. Sunday, taking on OKC in Lodo.
3 of the night for Holmgren, the 13th 3 and 10th assist from SGA. Jokic has a response.
That's a good sign. We hit that set shot from three-point range. Only took 9 shots, and the Nuggets lose 121 to 111 to OKC. But Jokic is back. That's a good sign. Red Wings in town tonight. Hockey, if you want to go watch the puck, against the Avalanche. 34 in Castle Rock, 38 in the Springs, 35 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Bill. Blake Olson, News Talk, 710 KNUS.
Your 710 KNUS forecast is early Monday. A few passing clouds, temperatures in the low 30s as you start the day. Partly sunny this afternoon, highs near 60. Partly cloudy tonight, lows down to 30. Cooler for Tuesday.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Thousands remain without power in Denver area amid Sunday outages. They got a lot of it cleaned up, but still some without power. More than 185,000 customers were left in the dark Sunday as widespread power outages hit the Denver area. During the peak of Sunday's outages, more than 44,000 Core Electric cooperative customers and 145,000 Xcel Energy customers were without power. The widespread power outages also caused disruption at DIA and law enforcement agencies across the South Metro area. As of 5:15 p.m., all but a handful of Core Electric's power outages have been resolved. 23,000 customers in Arapahoe County, 20,000 customers in Douglas County, 692 customers out in Elbert County, and one customer in Adams County. Imagine being that guy. Out of everybody, I'm the one.
Yeah, I'm the one. And at that point, you're looking down your block, you're looking around going, seems personal. Seems like they just don't like Steve.
Seems like somehow out of a Simpsons episode.
Yeah, exactly.
The cause of the outage remained under investigation. Xcel Energy spokesperson Michelle Aguayo confirmed in an email to the Denver Post that a large outage had impacted as many as 145,000 Southeast Metro area. It started at one of our substations, and crews are on the scene working on repairs and finding the cause of the outage. It continues to be a developing story, but it hit you and your family for about how long, Bill?
Oh, we were dark. I want to say between half hour to 45 minutes, but it came back quicker for us than other people. Like my brother was in town over the weekend. He was at the hotel at the time, getting ready to go down to the Nuggets game, and my mom was at her place, and they were out much longer than we were. It came back fairly quickly. We were half hour to 45 minutes, but I didn't do it exact. It's closer to 45, but it wasn't awful. But the fact that people are still without power is crazy.
Yeah, wild, and you didn't have the wind. You didn't have the heat or cold or anything. Just a balmy February day.
It was.
Xcel can't keep it on.
It was wonderful that when the power went out and we were talking about the fact the internet wasn't working really well, that the kids in the house were really concerned about the fridge and the food. Well, okay, that's not true. They were really, really concerned about what was going to happen to the popsicles and the ice cream. That's pretty much it. That was their focus.
Must eat immediately.
I had several volunteers saying, Dad, if we need to, I'm like, shut up. It's not going to be out that long. Yeah, but they were like, hey, I could go and eat. I'm like,
you remember when the power went out at the Super Bowl? Could you imagine if this was a week later?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the power goes out in the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah. During the Super Bowl, people just, oh, my gosh. Yeah. It's like during the game.
About riot.
Oh, yeah. That would do it in a second. Well, yeah, although it was interesting just for a sec that it took about, I'd say 5-6 minutes. It's one of those things where, and everyone has seen this in their neighborhood, power goes out. You wait about 5-8 minutes. And then everyone starts coming out their front doors and looking around like, oh, okay, yours too. Okay. And then, but the cool thing is that there were neighbors out milling around and chatting with each other in the yards for a little while as we were watching this. And I like that because our neighborhood gets along and a lot of people are friends. And so you had neighbors that were just catching up while the power was out, which I like. I like that community.
I definitely understand there'd be serious complications if we ever had an attack on our grid and power went out for weeks. Obviously, the physical health.
Yeah.
People on ventilators, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
storage of food and stuff is awful.
For a lot of people, this kind of like doomsday scenario stuff, I'm like, nah. We lived most of human history without this stuff. I think we'd just go out and talk to each other. But yeah, there would be complications.
Yeah, it was kind of cool though. It was neat to see everybody just chatting, and you saw all the friends just hanging out in the yards, and when the power came back on, people stayed outside for a while, which was kind of cool. Again, yeah, that's why I like my neighborhood.
So Saturday, I went to We the People gubernatorial kind of debate, discussion out in Kiowa, and it had made some news because Victor Marks had originally confirmed he was going to be a part of it, then withdrew over some problems he has with some of the other candidates and who they're associating with. And part of a strategic move to just kind of do the Donald Trump 2024, I don't need to debate. I'm so far ahead. I'm going to win this thing anyways. Let's focus on the general. So I went and spoke with folks. I'll give you the latest insight on that, particularly what some people had to say about Barb Kirkmeyer. This will be fascinating. You're not going to want to miss it. Folks, let's talk Gyrie's. They're all over the Denver metro area. My wife and I have visited the Gyrie's location in Parker. Got to sit down with their professional designer who showed us an incredible selection of Hunter Douglas custom blinds, shades, and shutters. I was a little overwhelmed. At first, I've never worked with a personal design pro. My wife loved it, though. She got to jump right in with all these questions, and they walked through and explored every possible blind option out there. We ended up coming up with the perfect plan to enhance the look and functionality of our home. So whether your curtains are clashing or you just want a fresh look, Guy Reese has the solutions for you. Their designers are the experts, and they can help you with everything from window treatments to full room decor. But here's the best part. They offer a personalized in-home consultation. They'll come to you, and they'll bring all the different samples and design options out right there for you to try in your own home. So you can get the same expert advice right in your own home as we got in ours. Do yourself a favor. Get started today. Visit GuyReese.com to schedule your in-home consultation. That's GUIRYS.com. GUIRYS.com. Go see the great people at Guy Reese. You'll be sure to thank me. We'll continue. I'll give you the latest on the Republican primary for governor here in Colorado. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
All right, Billy, you want the tea, as the kids say?
Yes, I do. I want the tea.
I didn't know what this was until I heard my daughter talking with her friends about
Yeah.
the tea. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Here's okay. You want to God, let me think about it. There's a word that my daughter used the other day, and I'm like, oh, I love that. Oh, I think it's chopped. Yeah, chopped. Yep, that
chopped,
was the one.
Mid, all that stuff.
Oh, mid's been around for a while, but the chopped was that's a newer one.
Remind me what chopped means.
Chopped is just it's like not looking good. It's like things are not looking good. Things are kind of So and what it was is my daughter came down. I'm like, hey, I want to run to the store over this, and on the other side of hands, she goes, I can't go right now. I'm all chopped. I'm like, what? And she's like, I don't look good. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I missed that memo. Yeah.
So here's the tea on the Republican primary for governor in Colorado. I think you have three major candidates in the Republican primary, leaving Greg Lopez out of that because he's running as an independent. Okay,
That's fair.
So you have Victor Marks, Barb Kirkmeyer, and Scott Bottoms. So We the People, which is a conservative organization in Elbert County, was going to host a governor's forum, debate-ish, but more of a forum. So you're not answering like the same questions and debating back and forth, but you're having a discussion. So Victor Marks had originally confirmed to be a part of this, and the folks that were organizing We the People had sold nearly 200 tickets to be a part of this, so good turnout for that. Victor Marks withdraws Monday of last week. So this event on Saturday, Victor Marks withdraws. Let me see if I can pull up his statement here so I can read it for you guys. So the event ends up being Scott Bottoms, Greg Lopez, and some other candidates that are, just not, there's 40 plus candidates in this. So some that haven't quite raised a lot of money to be able to compete at that level. I gotta go to Facebook to find Victor Marks' comments here. So Victor's not a part of the event on Saturday, and I went and interviewed and spoke to a lot of people, and there was some interesting insights as to all the candidates and where they currently stand, okay? It is not easy to find anything online.
No, it isn't. The way that it's organized or anything else is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Good night.
Okay.
Victor, for governor, he says, in politics, certainty is rare. What is not rare, however, is what happens when ambition outpaces relevance. As campaigns falter, too often decency gives way to desperation and substance is replaced with spectacle. I have no issue with criticism directed at me as a candidate. Scrutiny comes with leadership, and I welcome debate over ideas, records, and policy. What I will never tolerate and will never legitimize are attacks on my wife, my children, or innocent colleagues and friends. That behavior is not politics. It is moral failure masquerading as strategy. Our campaign has made a deliberate decision not to engage in that kind of conduct, nor to reward it with attention. We're not running a defensive campaign. We're not going to spend our time responding to provocation, participating in sideshows, or lending credibility to distractions designed to pull focus away from the real work ahead. That is why I will not be participating in events or forums that devolve into personal attacks or grievance-driven theatrics, including the recently scheduled forum on the 31st, which was this Saturday. Mm-hmm. Our time, energy, and resources are finite, and we choose to invest them where they matter with the people of Colorado. We control this campaign. We control our message, and we remain focused on the issues that will decide the election: public safety, affordability, education, energy, and restoring trust in state leadership. While others look backward or lash out, we are building forward. There is an election to win, and we intend to win it. We intend to win it by staying disciplined, substantive, and focused on the future Colorado deserves. Victor Marks. So that was his statement pulling out of We the People's event.
Okay, now I am, again, not part of either political party. So boil it down for me. Why didn't he show up? Because what I heard in that statement was, I'm afraid people are going to be mean to me and say some things out of bounds about my family or people I know. So because of that, I'm not showing up. That's what I got out of that. Am I reading it incorrectly?
Yeah, let me give you some more context.
Yeah.
Okay. Some folks in the Republican Party apparatus, I'm not saying Britta Horn, but people that are active in all the Republican Party stuff.
Yeah.
Namely, Darcy Shannon. Remember Darcy?
Oh, yeah.
She came on our show and served Britta Horn with a lawsuit.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That was an event.
Wow, she was being interviewed on our show. All right.
Yeah.
Darcy is out there making a lot of allegations about Victor Marx.
Yeah. Okay.
And stirring up a lot of controversy about him. And from my understanding, a lot of it's unfounded, but I don't know. Saying that he is a lying, child-beating, molesting, human trafficking scumbag.
Yeah. And again, that while as if it is as disingenuous as it appears to be, that is out of bounds. But has anybody listening to that Jeff and Bill show been paying attention to politics over the last decade? Any of us? I mean, have any of us heard similar allegations either about candidates we support or about the opponents to candidates that we support? I think a lot of us have heard that over the last decade. Again, continue, but I'm still struggling for the reasoning.
And then they're attacking his kids and going after them. So there's this little effort that's building within the Republican primary, and it's vicious. It's absolutely vicious. Now, one of the critiques I heard on Saturday talking to folks was, this is politics. Get thick skin. This is what you need to expect to happen. And if you can't take this, what else can't you take? So people pushing back on that. But I think what strategy-wise Victor Marx is doing right now is essentially saying, I'm the front runner, big time. Look at the donations, look at the support. And he did his own rally Sunday night in Castle Rock and had big turnout. I mean, hundreds of people, if not 1,000 people, turned out for his rally. So he's like, I've got it. He's basically got the Donald Trump 2024 mindset. I'm not going to legitimize these other guys. They can hardly raise any money. Me spending time debating them and discussing them, not worth it. They're attacking my family. I'm just going to go do it myself, this direction. And, you know, you can look at it either way. You could go, he's backing out of commitments he made. He is afraid to debate. He doesn't want to have these discussions with other candidates. Or you can look at it and go, this guy's the front runner. Whatever he's doing is already working. He doesn't need to spend time with the rest of these other folks. He can just go out there. He's got the lead. Let's start to focus on the general election. So, would love to hear from you. Text messages on both sides of this. Joan from Lakewood saying Victor's running a different kind of race. Not going to tolerate this stuff. He raised another $300,000 in February. He's now up to $900,000. So he's got the money.
I got a question on that, though. What is he not tolerating? And this is what I'm asking. I understand the idea of people in the Republican Party have been saying bad things about him. That is status quo inside of any primary. Go through any primary, that happens. What I'm curious about is Darcy Shannon out there saying some things may or may not be true. Last time I checked, not on stage. Not on stage. So what I'm curious about is Victor, and this is where I'm sitting. Victor does not take the opportunity to address what he says are public lies about he and his family in an open forum, and to challenge people on that stage that may be giving air to those lies, to point out how bad those are, and to share his message on the stage with a bunch of voters that could be persuadable. I understand showing up to the rallies, but rallies are already people that are in your tent. How come he can't stand on the stage and in this forum go back and forth with these people? And if this is so out of bounds, why doesn't he have the spine or the stones to call it out in public and stand there? Why can't he stand on the stage and say, you did this and this is out of bounds and how dare you say this? You're the one that reposted this, and then continue on his message. If it is so bad, why does he not address it in the most present public way that he could. Again, Darcy not on stage. This is his opportunity to quench those. Instead, he doesn't. I look at that and go, why would you just not?
All
It's
right,
just,
let's talk the third member of this, Barb Kirkmeyer. So you have the Victor Scott thing happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have Barb over here. And I ask people, I went around and I'm going to make a video of it, but who are you supporting? Who are you supporting? Who are you supporting? Why don't you support the other two candidates I listed? And when it comes to Barb Kirkmeyer, it was nearly a universal response. I don't know anything about her. Which was fascinating. It wasn't just she's too moderate or anything like that. They just have no idea about her. So clearly she's got some work to do to at least define herself with folks. People not opposed to her, not saying they don't, she's too moderate or anything like that. Just we don't know anything about her.
I'd be curious to see those same people, what they felt they knew about either Bottoms or Victor Marx as well in comparison. That I'm curious if it is, an actual intellectual knowledge vacuum or if it's an impression of not knowing enough about her, but only knowing surface level about Bottoms and Marx and that being enough. I don't know. I'm just curious.
Would love to hear from you. Join the conversation, 303-696-1971. This is a three-horse race in my mind. Could be wrong, but in my analysis of this, this is a three-horse race. Who's likely to win at this point and garner the Republican nomination for governor of Colorado? Is it Victor Marx? Is it Scott Bottoms? Is it Barb Kirkmeyer? And whom do you support? 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Capitalist Law text line at 720-819-5115. We'll continue. We got You Choose the News coming up. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Billy, I ran
Yeah.
into Scott Shamblin at the event out in Kiowa.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Friend of the program. And Scott and I have come up with a plan to run for governor.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to announce just so that we can get on the debate stage against Kyle Clark, Channel 9. We promise
That
to
would be
both
fun.
withdraw following the debate.
That would be fun.
It would just be a circus.
That would be fun.
And Scott was pointing out we could just loan ourselves like 25 grand.
Yeah, you could.
And meet the threshold to get on.
Yeah, you could.
Run for one day.
Yeah. and
Get
then
on the
out.
debate
Yep.
show. Withdraw. Take the money back.
Which is a
Just to
brilliant
be
idea.
a circus.
Yeah.
Just to be the circus.
That would be fun. I like that. Speaking of circuses, hey, it is Monday morning. It's time for the circus. Yes, it is You Choose the News, America's favorite fake radio news game show. We humans do a lot of really weird things, so it takes me moments every morning to find really dumb stories about us. I slap on these dumb headlines so that we can play this fake radio news game show. Why? Well, because it's silly and fun, and Jeff and I are left unsupervised at 6:52 in the morning. Once we found out that nobody that has any power here at KNUS is listening, we took full advantage. And as always, we need a partner in crime. That's where Blake Olson joins us from the news department. Gentlemen, here are today's stories. Headline number 1, looking younger. Headline number 2, they're in charge. Headline number 3, peekaboo. And headline number 4, stay cold and like it. Mr. Hunt, your choice.
Let's start with they're in charge.
Yeah, they're in charge, and that should worry you. Here we find ourselves in Memphis City. 2 Memphis City City Council members recently think that the snow from the recent winter storm is man-made. In something that is absolutely a public embarrassment, council members Pearl Walker and Yolanda Cooper Sutton both publicly said the snow was fake and artificial in different Facebook posts. But didn't even do it together. They came up with this stupidity by
not
themselves.
cloud seeding, something different than cloud seeding.
Oh, it's even stupider than this, because it's not understanding how basic science works. Again, it's not something that everybody should know, but stop jumping to a conclusion if you don't know what's going on, you morons. Here's the example. So Cooper Sutton posts a video, and she says it's her husband attempting to melt a chunk of snow with a lighter. And she's like, it's not melting. I have the lighter right near the snow. Oh my God, we can't even set fire to it. What is happening? Ah. And then someone else says, I decided to see if it was really fake snow hitting the ground. It's not melting when he set fire to it. What is happening? Both the city council members posted this. And this is just stupid. In fact, I do appreciate one activist, Hunter Dempster, did notice the city council members' claims and say it's disheartening to see several sitting Memphis city council members literally pushing conspiracy theories about man-made snow. We are screwed as a species. And Hunter is right. Some of the council members responded to him. Here's the issue. When you take a bunch of snow, and again, most people won't know this, but don't post it on Facebook because you're just telling publicly that you don't know what's going on. And then when you complain about being man-made snow, it just says you're stupid. It's called sublimation. It's when something goes from a solid to a gas. How snow is packed when you add fire to it. The snow that melts, either it turns into liquid vapor or the actual liquid is reabsorbed by the gaps that are inside of the snow itself. It doesn't drip. It never will. It doesn't. That's not how it works. It's science. If you're paying attention in 6th grade, we all learned this. But that's okay. Those people are in charge in Memphis City Council. Yay! That should make us all feel better on a Monday. Okay, Blake, looking younger, peekaboo, or stay cold and like it?
Let's go with looking younger, Billy.
Looking younger! This is great for all of us old dudes. If only your pesky stem cells didn't get stuck in place, maybe we wouldn't all have gray hair. That's the conclusion of a new study that was published in the Journal of Nature recently. They found out that there are certain types of stem cells that actually are like chameleons. They go back and forth, and they're the ones that do the pigment inside of your hair. But as we get older, they get stuck. If they can figure out how to unstuck these, gray hair goes away. Now, final choice, Mr. Hunt, peekaboo or stay cold and like it?
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo! You might have seen this. Heavyweight boxer Jarrell Miller was involved in a bizarre incident this weekend when he was fighting Kingsley Ibith. His hairpiece came off in the middle of the fight. Yeah, his rug goes boop and is gone. You can check out the video online.
Cells were stuck.
I know, exactly. Well, that's the end of You Choose the News. Back to you, sir.
All right, thousands marched through Denver in second major anti-ICE protest of the weekend. Is this actually changing anybody's mind? Has your mind changed about it? This is what I want to get into in the next hour. We'll continue that, plus the Republican primary victories, the Epstein file releases, all this and more. We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
And Karen, hang with us. We're going to talk to you about your choice for governor. This is KNUS.